Hi, everybody. Let's make our way to a comfortable seated position. Whatever that looks like for you, it can be on your prop or on your mat. Take your time transitioning into this practice from your day. Gently close down your eyes. Connect with your breath, feeling your belly rise and fall. Maybe letting out a couple of audible sighs. Relaxing your jaw. Relaxing the space between your eyebrows. Softening your shoulders down your back. Your hips heavy into the earth. Relax your belly and let each inhale expand your belly wide and big. Feel your ribs expanding, your diaphragm expanding. Take a moment to think about what brought you here today. Thank yourself for arriving here. For an hour devotional to yourself, to your well-being, to excavating your inner world. Remembering that the breath connects the mind and body. Always returning to the breath, to return to the present moment. Knowing that a wandering mind is perfectly natural and normal. We're going to begin with Ujjayi breath, victorious breath. This is a gentle close of your mouth, and inhale and an exhale through the nose. And on the exhale, gentle constriction in your throat. So it almost sounds like a Darth Vader breath, or like if you put a shell to your ear and could hear the ocean. So it sounds like this. Try a few at your own pace, inhaling through your nose and exhaling to create that sound of the ocean. Ujjayi breath stimulates our vagus nerve, helps to drop us into that relaxation response. A few more, just like that. And when you're ready, coming to standing, removing any thoughts. And we're going to begin with some sun salutations, Surya Namaskar Classic. This isn't a traditional yin series, but it's going to be great to get us into our bodies, to feel that flow and that movement before we begin, holding our shapes for yin. So highly recommend trying out that Ujjayi breath throughout the sun salutation. So first, find your mountain pose, feet under your hips, hands at your side, elongating that spine, shooting the energy from the crown of your head toward the sky, while simultaneously rooting your feet into the earth. So you have this real long body, lifting up all 10 toes, trying to create space between your toes, and then placing them back down on the mat. Shoulders rolling down the back. I'm going to walk you through this. It's new. It might feel like you don't know what you're doing, but whatever you're doing is right. Just go with it. I'll talk you through it. We're going to do a few rounds of this. On the inhale, arms raise overhead. Exhale, lead with the chest, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift, elongate that spine, crown of the head in line, hands on the shins or your thighs or the floor. Exhale and melt over those legs, option to deeply bend into the knees. Plant your hands, step back with your right leg so you're in a runner's lunge. Take a breath here. Left foot steps back to meet right, so you're in a plank position, shoulders over wrists. Drop your knees down to the earth. Keep your elbows in close to your body and slowly lower down to your belly. Untuck your toes, hands by the shoulders, shoulder blades energetically pushing toward each other, cobra pose. Gentle weight in the hands, using mostly back muscles, melting back down to the earth, tucking your toes, pulling back onto your knees, and then into downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths here. Exploring that Ujjayi breath. On your next breath, stepping forward with the right leg. So you're in a runner's lunge on the other side. Left meets right at the top of your mat. Inhale and raise up. Exhale, hands by your side, mountain pose. Take a moment, notice any changes, notice the flow of your breath through your body. We're going to do it on the left now. Inhale, arms raise overhead. Exhale, lead with the chest. Inhale, halfway lift, elongated spine. Exhale, fold over those legs. Plant those hands. Left foot steps back, runner's lunge. Right foot meets left foot in a plank pose. Drop your knees to the earth, and with your elbows tucked into your body, lower slowly to the earth, all in one piece. Untuck your toes, cobra pose. Melt back down to the earth. Pull back onto your knees, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Melt that heart toward your thighs. Have a slight internal rotation of your arms. On your next breath, left foot steps forward, runner's lunge. Right meets left at the top of the mat, and with bent knees, root to rise all the way up. Release your arms, mountain pose. Maybe one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Maybe find a gentle sway. Let's do it one more time each side. Inhale, arms raise. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, melt over those legs with bent knees. Plant your hands, step back with the right, runner's lunge. Left meets right. Touch your knees to the earth and slower, lower down. Untuck your toes, press the top of your feet into the earth. Cobra. Melt back down, untuck your toes, and either pushing up through a push-up or how we've been doing it, coming to your knees first. Meet me back in downward facing dog. Let's raise up on our toes in down dog, tippy toes, and then slowly melt those heels back toward the earth. Again, raise up, melt those heels back down. On your next breath, stepping forward with the right, runner's lunge. Left meets right, raise up on the inhale. Exhale, mountain pose. And on the left, here we go, arms raise, inhale. Exhale, swan dive forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, melt over those legs. Plant those hands, step back on your left. Right meets left, slowly lower down. Untuck the toes, cobra pose. Melt back down, pulling back into downward facing dog. Finding that ujjayi breath. Step forward on the left. Right meets left. Raise up. Release into mountain pose. Beautiful. You can slightly widen your feet or leave them in that hip distance. We're going to drop down into dangling pose. Bend your knees as much as feels good. Let your head hang heavy, maybe even shake it yes and then no. You can leave your hands on the earth or you can grab for opposite elbows. Come into stillness here. Find your breath. We're going to begin to sway gently side to side. Make those sways a little bigger now. And a little bigger still. Where can you let go? Be heavy. And then start to slow that sway, make it smaller until you arrive at stillness. Clasp those elbows if you have them. Walk your feet out to as wide as your mat, if not a little wider. Turn out your toes, heels turned in. And then you're going to sit down into garland. Option to place your bolster underneath you. Hands at heart center, shoulder blades pulling toward each other. Using those elbows to push out on those knees while your knees are simultaneously pushing back toward your elbow. So there's this like co-contraction happening. Lift up all 10 toes. Try to create space between your toes. Just noticing without judgment and then placing them back down onto the earth. Eyes can be gently closed, just finding your breath here. Allowing yourself to soften. Drop your right ear to your right shoulder. Breathe into the left side of your neck. Maybe tilting that chin up toward the sky and then down toward the earth. Moving through this at your own pace. When you find a sensation you're curious about, just stopping there and finding your breath. When you're ready, bringing your head back up to neutral and then dropping your left ear to your left shoulder. Tilting your chin up toward the sky. And then maybe down toward the earth and moving through this. Moving with your breath. And bringing your head back up to neutral. Releasing those hands, just really gently walking those feet and knees toward each other. Removing that prop if you had it. Hugging your knees into your chest. Dropping your head down. Maybe swaying gently side to side. Thanking your body for all it does for you. How it carries your spirit through the world. We're going to come into low flying dragon. So you can start on all fours. And another great place to use your prop, or maybe two. Option always to stack. Sometimes one isn't enough. So you're going to bring that right leg out in front in a bent position. Then you can come up with that left into like a runner's lunge. And then you're going to melt your knee down to the earth, untuck that toe so the top of your foot is into the earth, and just find the place where you can melt into the bolster. So I kind of like it a little bit closer to my knee, down on my thigh, but everybody is different. So see where it feels good. Find where you can melt. We want a stimulating stretching sensation without it being too intense or aggressive. Arms can be on your prop, they can be resting on your thigh, or they can be, you can hinge forward and rest them on the earth, wherever you find that stimulating stretch, but from a restful place. We'll be here for about 3 minutes, so settle in. Let your breath carry you through this shape. Tune into your body. Notice where you're gripping or clenching and send your breath there. Let the sensations soften, deepen. Mm. 5 more deep, full breaths. Mm. When you're ready, leaving that left knee as it is and pulling back to straighten that front leg, that right leg, removing any props if you feel they're in your way. So this leg, this front leg is straight, this leg is bent beneath you. Trying not to lean too far one way or another, kind of finding balance between the two, flexing that right foot. If this is too intense, you can always bring yourself up. You have lots of options here. Melt your toes to the earth and then flex that right foot back up. Externally rotates that pinky toe is headed toward the earth, and then bring your toes to the mat. Flex it back up. Now internally rotates, that big toe is heading its way toward the mat, and then put those toes onto the mat. Flex it back up and just explore here. Explore that internal and external rotation of your hip joint, bringing those toes to the earth and then flexing back up. Return to stillness with a flexed foot at the center. Then we're going to sit back onto that left heel. You can also explore taking that prop and placing it, like on top of your calf And then sitting back there, that can feel really good too. So see what feels good for you in your body today. Relax that foot now. Just let it relax. And then you can walk your hands forward and just let that body round, let that spine round. Mm. Option, of course, to put another prop underneath that right knee if you'd like that elevated slightly. We're here for a couple of minutes. Where can you create space by sending your breath there? You can even send your breath to the point between your eyes, that third eye, the seat of your intuition. If your mind is ever wandering or racing, send your breath there to create space. Like wind blowing away the clouds so you can see the blue, clear sky. 2 more deep breaths here. And then you're just going to come out the way you came in, bending into that front leg. We're going to come into the other side of low flying dragon. So in yin, we really believe in intuitive transitions. So do whatever feels good for your body, bringing that left foot forward, maybe coming into that runner's lunge and then melting that knee to the earth, unflipping that foot so the top of the foot's into the earth. Exploring with props on this side too. Maybe wiggling it down, just feeling where that feels good. I like it as close to my knee as I can get it, with my knees still being gently into the earth. That's what feels good for me. And again, hands can be on that prop, thigh, or you could explore walking forward with that, maybe letting that head hang heavy with gravity. Once you find that edge of stimulating stretch without being aggressive about your 50 to 70%, um, commit to stillness for a length of time. Mm. Breathing into any sensation in that left hip or that right hip, or even somewhere unexpected like your jaw, your belly, your toes. Hmm. 5 more deep breaths here. Hmm. Maybe in these last moments, exploring some deep belly breathing, relaxing the belly and letting your breath fill it fully. Mm. When you feel complete, leaving that right leg bent, straightening, pulling back and straightening into that left leg, removing any props, flexing into that left foot, exploring your hips and noticing where you're leaning, if you can balance between the two, equal distribution of your weight. Maybe you want to widen your stance a little, opening that right knee out a little bit, like walking it out so you're not in railroad tracks, but there's distance between. Sending those toes to the earth and then back up to flex. Opening, externally rotating so that pinky heads toward the earth, and then placing your toes down in that position. Back up to flexed, internally rotating, toes down, back up, and just moving through this at your own pace, stopping where it feels good or where there's a sensation you want to breathe into. Mm. When you're ready, sitting back onto that heel, maybe exploring a prop under that calf, sitting on the prop. Inhale and elongate. Exhale and round forward over that leg. Mm. Relaxing that left foot completely. Mm. Lengthening your breaths. Mm. Lengthening the exhale, sending out stagnant air. Lengthening your inhales to send in fresh life, new stories about yourself. Letting go of what no longer serves you. Mm. 3 more deep breaths. Feeling it expand your back body, your back ribs. And when you're ready, just slowly and mindfully transitioning into all fours. Shoulders stacked over wrists, hips stacked over knees. Moving into some cat and cows, expanding your chest forward on the inhale, tailbone tucking up toward the sky. Exhale and round, belly button into the navel, tailbone tilting toward the earth. And just continue with your own breath here, inhaling and expanding, exhaling and rounding, looking at your belly button. And moving into some lateral movements with your spine. So hips shooting over to the left and looking over your right. And then switching just like you're wagging your tail. Maybe bringing in some organic movements, some circles in both directions. Really warming up that spine. Letting that neck do whatever feels good for the neck. And coming back to a seated position, extending your right leg out long and placing your left foot across with that foot flat into the earth. This is a great place. We're going to twist from this place. You can also explore bending into that knee, and then that foot can let go. The left foot can let go. If this is pressure on your knee, come back to where we started, or you can flex that left foot. So lots of variations to explore. You're going to place that left hand flat behind you into the earth. Inhale, right arm up, elongate that spine, and then twist, either hooking that elbow on the outside of your knee or just hugging that knee, whatever is accessible to you. Inhale and elongate, exhale and twist. Inhale and elongate, exhale and twist. And now hold here and breathe into that left hip and glute, into that twisted belly space that is massaging those organs. Pulling that navel in and up. And slowly releasing into deer pose. So that left leg sweeps behind you in a bent position, right, bending into that right leg, and then just drape over to that right side. Body melting into the earth or into a bolster. Just holding here in this counter twist. Fully relax. Let your breath bring you closer to the earth. On your next breath, slowly unfurling back upright, extending that left leg out long in front of you, crossing that right leg over, foot flat on the earth, or if you'd like to try on this side, bending into that. Take a moment. Recognize all the love and care you've already put into your body. Place that right hand behind you, palm into the earth. Inhale, left arm up, elongate that spine, just energetically pull the crown of your head toward the sky. And on the exhale, twist. Inhale and elongate. Exhale and twist from the navel space. Inhale and elongate. Exhale and twist. And stay in your twist and breathe here. Mm. Unwind slowly. Bring that left leg behind you and a bent knee. Excuse me, right leg behind you. Left is in front, and then drape onto the earth or your top in this counter twist. Either looking behind you or in front of you, whatever feels best. Completely relaxing your jaw, your shoulders, your hips, your legs, your toes. Mm. Mm. When you're ready, rolling up, bringing both legs out in front, using your props however you'd like, option under your knees. We're going to be doing caterpillar shape, so a forward fold. Also option to place it on top. Also, if you had two, you could do both, one under the knee, one on top. Play with it. Today I'm feeling under my knees. Every day is different. Just a gentle flex in those feet. Sit up nice and tall, shoulders rolling back down. Then let that go. Walk those hands forward. And when you can't walk them forward anymore, then round down into that shape. We're going to be here for 5 minutes. So find that stimulating, stretching sensation without being aggressive, and commit to stillness for a length of time. Where can you soften in your body and in your mind? Where can you let go in your body and in your mind? Hmm. That's halfway. It's a good time to check in with your edge, see if you want to pull back a little bit because you find yourself tensing and gripping, or see if you want to deepen. 5 more deep breaths here. Can you accept where you are right at this very moment? Can you honor where you are? Slowly unfurl vertebra by vertebra, head arriving last. Take a moment here. Bring your soles at your feet to touch in toward your seat in butterfly. This is a beautiful place to stay, or perhaps explore placing your feet on top of a prop in front of you. Just a different activation. We're going to remain upright. Here for just a moment, listening to what our body has to tell us here in this shape. And then rounding down if that feels good. Letting that head hang heavy or resting it on a block. Rolling up, removing any props, and making your way to laying down flat on your mat. Both hands on your belly. We're going to do 5 Buddha belly or deep belly breaths. So fully relax your stomach and inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 2, 3, 4, 5. A few more rounds just like that. Mm. Mm. Leaving your left leg long on the floor, bringing your right knee into your chest, interlacing your hands on your hamstrings or your shin, and pulling that knee in toward your center chest. And then just making some circles, maybe releasing that left hand and just holding on with your right hand and making some circles with that knee in one direction. And then in the other direction. Beautiful. Extending that right leg long, bringing your left knee into your center chest, using that arm strength to gently pull it down and toward you. Ah, letting out an audible sigh. Those sighs of relief indicate to our body that we are safe, that we are in rest. Releasing that right hand and making circles with that left hip, guided with that left hand in one direction. Then in the other. Bringing both knees in toward the chest, hugging them down and in while simultaneously pressing your sacrum flat into the earth. So knees press toward you and the sacrum presses away from that chest back into the earth. Grabbing the outside of the knees with your hands and making circles, opening in one direction. Let that sacrum lift now and just be super organic, lubricating those hip joints. Maybe letting them hang out in those hands with gravity and feeling that weight of them drop down, down. And then switching directions. When you're ready, hugging them into your chest, maybe reaching for opposite wrists or opposite elbows, hugging them in tight, laying that back flat on the floor, that neck, visualizing it melting into the mat. One more hug, and then release into Shavasana, final resting pose. Option to place your bolster under your knees. Option always to take a belly down Shavasana if that feels good today. Or to rest in the fetal position, hugging your bolster, wherever you find the greatest rest. Enjoy. Slowly bringing your awareness back to your breath, back to the room you're in, the sounds you hear, the air you feel. Wiggling fingers and toes, maybe gently rocking your head back and forth or your hips back and forth. Taking a big stretch, arms overhead. And then you're welcome to stay in Shavasana to end your practice, or to roll onto one side and slowly make your way up to seated. Bringing your hands to heart center, and rubbing those hands together fast, creating heat, creating electricity, feeling the power you hold inside a little bit faster. And then coming to stillness, thumbs pressed into your sternum, bowing your head to yourself and each other. Taking the deepest breath of your day. Namaste. you all soon.